All right, we are live, and I am not going to start this podcast with "Welcome to Fit Body Secrets" because this is a little bit of a different, obviously a bonus series that I'm doing, sharing my journey with you guys. So I haven't really quite figured out exactly what I want to open with. So we're going to start off by keeping it raw and just saying, "Hey, we're live and we're ready to rock." So week one was obviously kind of the intro week. I wanted to break down essentially what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. And week two, just want to kind of start by recapping some things from week one, which was also coincidentally the week of Christmas, which always makes things a little bit more difficult for everybody. And then we had New Year's last week. So I'm excited to check in with you guys. And I'm also going to kind of go over the format of what I'm doing. Good morning, Miss Lex. So if you guys are triggered by numbers, if you are somebody that is dealing with your own eating, disordered eating related issues, your own body image issues, and hearing numbers might trigger you, I will try and make sure that I let you know before I bring up numbers here. But I am keeping this podcast very raw because I want to show people the amount of effort you put in, no matter what side of the spectrum you're on. So whether you are somebody looking to lose fat or you're trying to gain, the same mental stuff goes on throughout the head in a different way. Like there's going to be days where you're like not motivated to do the work, where you want to go back to your comfort zone. There's going to be other things that happen. And when you're on this end of the spectrum and you are in a gains journey, there's a lot of fear, especially if you've ever been overweight. So for those of you guys that may have lost weight and gotten to a good place and then regained it, like, that fear, the scale avoidance, the things that you don't want to see happening. So this journey is all about my health journey, and I want to share it with you guys because I hope to help you guys out. And for those of you guys out there that maybe are, I get this all the time. I really want to lose fat and build muscle. And then I see a woman and she looks like she's underfed, doesn't have a pound of muscle on her, and really needs to be focusing on building muscle, but she's so afraid of the scale that she doesn't allow herself to eat. And so I'm hoping that this episode and these episodes will also help those of you guys out there that do struggle with the scale and all that good stuff. The main reason I'm embarking on this journey, as I mentioned, is that my health, I think that it's going to be much better for my health to allow myself to be a little bit heavier. And it's also something that I feel like, I had this like thought in my head about what else I want. Well, I just feel like it's the right thing for my health. I think that there are some things that will be better. I don't feel horrible. In fact, I actually feel really good. I think that most of you guys are my followers, know that I went through a pretty serious scare back in October. And I am still on the recovery from that. In fact, today was the first time I snatched 95 pounds in over a year. And that was pretty interesting. We'll just start there. We'll just stop there. So I've regressed a ton. And a lot of this is, I know what I was going to talk about, but a lot of this is built around me becoming a healthier person. And so I'm sharing it with you guys. And so these check-ins are going to be raw. I weigh myself daily. I track my food. I have not looked at the scale in over, I think about 10 days. What I do is I have my phone hooked up to Bluetooth so that my scale is hooked to Bluetooth so that when I weigh myself, it does register. And the reason I do this is because I don't want the scale to dictate my actions. I want to stay focused on what I'm going to be doing. And so for those of you guys out there on either end of the journey, fat loss or building muscle, like, you got to think about, like, are you going to change your actions based on seeing your results? A lot of people do this in their journey. They're not losing weight. They quickly abandon ship on the diet. And for me, I don't want the fear of things changing too quickly to make me want to change what I'm doing with my nutrition. So I'm going to start by recapping last week, first and foremost, and then we're going to go into the numbers. So last week was a challenge for me. I struggled to hit my macros the way that I should, really calories. I'm not really focusing so much on specific macros because I also decided to take a deload week last week. And for me, when I'm working out less, in my head, I'm like, well, I don't need as much food, especially when I'm not in a place where I'm competing. I'm literally working out right now for fitness and obviously my health, and I'm slowly working back into things. along with the holidays. So holidays always give me a little bit of anxiety. So I just feel like last week was really hard for me in a couple of different ways. And so as much as I could see that as a failure, I don't really see it as a failure because for me, even though I may not have like, hit the calories every single day, I hit them most of the days and I focused on something else that I struggle with, which is taking some time off from the gym. So I did deload. I could have deloaded a little bit better. I will say this. I did struggle. I still wanted to do 2 sessions a day. I kind of struggled to kind of relax and that's something that I feel like I'm still working on. However, this coming week, I'm still taking it a little bit easier. I am currently working with a new coach for training and it's going to be putting some work in on gymnastics as well. So just kind of changing up my training a little bit. And this is mostly not from a competitive aspect of things. It's more so for a like overall health and keeping me in check because when I'm left to my own devices, I like to train. So it's going to be that extra accountability I need. So last week was a little bit of a struggle. I did enjoy myself, but that's just kind of going into transparency. I also had a big stressor in business that I don't really want to disclose, but it was something that I did not expect. And it's hard when you invest a lot of time and effort into somebody, and then they kind of something happens, and then the next thing you know, you're kind of stabbed in the front, and things get taken from you that are yours, like you own. And so at the end of the day, you can't control people. And you know what? If somebody's stealing my stuff and using it, good for them. That's as much as I'm going to go into with that. But it's okay. I'm moving on. This is not about that. This is about my journey right now. So struggle. So now when it comes to the goals, I want to set some goals for myself. Every single week, I am looking to gain about a half a pound a week. That's the goal. Whenever we're looking at muscle building and gaining weight, we want to think about it a little bit slower. Adding body fat onto your body, although sometimes can be healthy, doing it too quickly is also unhealthy as well. So excess body fat does put you at risk for other things. I want to do this in a controlled way, and I still care about how I look, right? Like, so that's important. So I am looking to gain about half a pound a week. Um, and so that's kind of going to be and when I figure out where I'm at is how I'm going to decide what I'm doing with my nutrition. And I will be increasing things and y'all are my accountability. So that is why I am doing this because I feel like it's really cool to be able to say, hey, like I'm putting myself out there. Y'all know that you will say, I know what I got to do. I just got to do it. So I am also the same person. And when you're only left to your own devices, you will not do what you need to do if you don't feel right, if you don't feel like it, you don't feel comfortable. Well, I am going to be my own example because I want to help you guys all. So I'm going to have you guys help me too. So we're going to talk about numbers now. I'm going to go over, I haven't, like I said, I have no idea how much I weigh today. I know where my weight's at typically. I know the range. But I don't know if I've gained anything, lost anything, or maintained last week. So we are going to find out together and then we will talk about adjustments. Feedback, I should go over that too, right? So feedback this week, sleep has been good, aside from that little business stressor. Um, recovery has been decent. Most of my injuries are getting better. I have this nagging, like I feel like the problem is when you injure your hamstrings, it affects everything. Your legs, your gait, your knees, everything. So I still have a little bit of a nagging ankle thing going on, but I'm actually able to start lifting a barbell again without fear of injuring myself, which feels so good mentally for me. It's just like the fact that I haven't been able to lift and now I can lift again is like it's exciting and it makes this journey a little bit easier. Okay. So here we go. We're going to open up to the numbers and I'm scared, but I'm going to look at it. Here we go. Well, all right. So let's see. The week of Christmas Eve was on a Friday. Okay. So let's just go to my other app. It's going to make it easier for you guys. Trends. Okay. So my trend right now is maintaining. Essentially, the week of December 4th, sorry, where am I at? 24th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So from 12/18 through 12/24, my weight stayed right between 121 and 122. I had one outlier day of 120, which and it's like a 120.6. It might have just been a little bit of dehydration. And then from 12/24 through 12/31, I did have a couple of 123s show up. On December 25th, I was 12/23 or 123, and on the 27th, I was 123. So I did have a couple of higher numbers. So I'm just going to make a quick jot down of these because, like I said, this is raw. We're doing this together. So here's what I would typically do, whether your goal is fat loss or building. I'm going to write down all of these numbers from the previous week. And remember, my goal is about half a pound a week. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 121.4, 122.2. I'm going to take the average from the 18th through the 24th, and then from the 25th through the 31st, and see if there was a half a pound increase or not. Reminding myself that last week was a bit of a deload, and we will go from there. I also had a 120 yesterday, so I'm going to bet there probably wasn't much change, but let's just go ahead and see. 121.6. And those for you guys out there that are struggling with your own journey, whether it's weight gain or weight loss, I know this seems like super dialed in, but if you're somebody who wants to keep it dialed in, this is a great strategy. It also allows you to set realistic goals for yourself. I think a lot of people think that fat loss is this fast process and that they should be losing 2 pounds a week. And it doesn't always work that way. And sometimes just tracking trends is helpful. So the week prior, I was 121.6 as an average. And then last week, I was plus 123.2. And I know that last week, my nutrition wasn't all days eating at my higher numbers. I know that there was a couple of days that I had kind of messed up on. Divided by 7. Okay, so I gained from the week prior to this week, I was up 0.3 pounds, so not quite half a pound. So I know that I didn't specifically hit my calories every single day, and I was on a bit of a deload. This week is still a deload for me, less volume, I should say, not really a deload. I'm ramping back up a little bit. So here's what I'm going to do this week. I'm going to do the same exact thing that I would tell a client to do in their journey is I'm going to hit my macros every single day. When I say hit my macros, I don't want you guys to think I'm talking about being like spot on to the dot of my macros, but my calorie range right now is, so compliance wise, let's talk about my compliance last week. My calorie range last week, I love this app, by the way, and I'll have to share it with you guys. See, my average calories from, I know there's a way for me to see my average calories in here. I have to look at that. So what I'm going to do is take a look at my average calories from last week to this week. And I'm going to be honest, the first thing that I'm going to do is really hit my calories every single day this week. So for instance, that's what I wanted to show you guys. So right now my calorie intake should be, it's set to macros 3185. Okay. So when I go back to last week, I only hit that really one day. I was within about, I had 2, 3, 4 days where I was significantly under that. I was at about 24 to 2,500 calories. So my goal this week is to hit those numbers every single day. So the holidays are behind me. I don't have anything coming up this week. So my goal this week is going to be to ensure that every single day I'm within 100 calories. So I'm not going to be so nitpicky about being spot on my macros, but I am going to make sure that like I've hit my protein and that I've gotten in all of my calories. And that's going to be for this week. And that is going to be a bit of a challenge, but I know I got this. Like I said, I'm still deloading a little bit this week. And I think that with doing that, I should likely see that half a pound gain that I'm looking for from week to week. So that was my week 2 recap of my journey right now. So not a whole bunch else to add. I am going to be adding on my YouTube channel a spot for this. And I'm also going to be putting photos up there as well, kind of like looking at the transformation as well, because I think that's really important for people to see. And I'll also be, giving you guys a little bit of my training stuff as well. I will say I am starting to feel a little bit stronger again, which is awesome. I feel better about that. Like I said, my lifts are nowhere where they need to be, but being able to squat without pain, even though my numbers are way off, is so good. So it's a great time of year. It's a brand new year. I'm excited for what's to come. And that's it, guys. Thanks for joining me on my gains journey.